Hello. I hope everyone is fine. Well, this is the intro to the intro because I've done a video on Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun and it's all sorted out and done and edited. And at the end, I even say that I most likely forgot to mention some things. And that's why I'm doing an intro to an intro. Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun means taming the tiger within an I shape. Gung-Ji means basically I shape. But actually it means also Gung comes from working, to work out. So Gung-Ji, working within a Gung-Ji character, the I character, the I shape. When I say I shape, I'm talking about the letter I, a capital I. And Fuk-Fuk-Kun means taming the tiger, fist. Kun is always stands for fist, obviously. Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun is taming the tiger in an I shape. Taming the tiger is a saying about to fight yourself within, not fight as in fight, but to overcome anything that could be seen as looked at as a obstacle, a hurdle. You know, something that something you don't like to do, but you have to do, and then become pretty good at it. It's working on something, you know what I mean? Fuk-Fuk-Kun. Yeah, so fight your inner self, your laziness, or something that's unpleasant or uncomfortable. That's the meaning of it, you know what I mean? So Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun, because Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun is a very long set, and if you practice the set in one go, it should take a long time, 6 to 7 minutes or even longer, depending on yourself. Keeping the low stances, it's a real full-out workout and condition of your body. So don't underestimate this set. And these are some things I forgot to say. Anyway, I just wanted to add this on, and now back to the original video. Hello, today I'm going to take you on a walk, and we're going to talk about Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun. Making these kind of videos should be always somewhere where it's not as noisy as here right now. As you see, there's a lot of cars. So I'm going to pause it for a minute and be back when I'm somewhere quieter.洪拳三寶, the three treasures of Hung Kuen. When we talk about the three treasures, we talk about the three main forms, sets, whatever you want to call it, Taolus. Those three sets are Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun, Fu-Hok-Kuen, and Titsing-Kun. Today we're talking about Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun, the first set in our Hung-Ga curriculum. This set has all the important basics, but let's talk about it. Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun teaches you feet alignment, bridge work, breathing, and all the important basic techniques. When we talk about Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun, we talk about Hung Kuen fundamentals. Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun is like the spine in the body, the roots for a tree, or the foundation of a building. The tree needs strong roots to survive. A human body needs a healthy spine to be able to move correctly, and a building needs to have strong foundations to withstand all type of weathers. Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun is the most important set in our Hung-Ga curriculum. So you could say the three treasures. Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun teaches you the fundamentals. Fu-Hok-Kuen focuses on the fighting aspects, and Titsing-Kun on the internal aspects. However, all three components appear in all the forms. In Gung-Ji, it's just a little bit, the same as in Fu-Hok, and in Titsing-Kun is a pure internal set. Or you could say it's an enhancement for your whole Hung-Ga style. Anyway, let's talk about Gung-Ji. Now you can split Gung-Ji-Fuk-Fuk-Kun in two parts. Gung-Ji, then you would say Gung-Ji-Kun, and Fuk-Fuk-Kun. I really read a lot of times that Fuk-Fuk-Kun is the oldest set in our Hung-Ga style. Now, it could be true if you look at the set, so the second half, it gives you a kind of modern feeling. I mean, the set is fast. We go in angles. You have different type of strikes, long strikes, short strikes, low stances, the water punches, a lot of bridges, sweeps, kicks, everything in there. And it's very lively if you play it. While the first half, Gung-Ji-Kun, is very linear. It teaches you a lot of feet alignment, which is very important for your stances. For example, the midnight line. The midnight line is what is the most confusing for a beginner. People tend to stand with both feet on one line when they fight, in their fighting stance, which is a mistake. So it's more like a sideways stance. A sideways stance will always reduce your power shot, you know what I mean? So if you're right-handed and your left foot is forward, but you keep a sideways stance, right, like this, you never could use the full range of your cross, right? So that's why we teach the midnight line. It's kind of like, because we keep our front foot turned inwards and our back foot turned outwards, so that our toe of our left foot, if the left foot is forward, and our right foot, the heel, are on the line. You can use left and right side equally for strikes. Use your hip power, which is very important, because using your hips properly will give you additional power for your strikes. So all these and the breathing parts, breathing in through your nose into your dantian, which is like lower abdominal. Now you will say physically that's not even possible, because you breathe the air into your lungs and your lungs not going all the way down, right? But you can try it. You can breathe in. Normal people, I mean people without training, would breathe in and their chest will lift. Now if you relax your chest, the air will sink lower. So when you breathe in through the nose, it goes all the way in your chest, in your lungs, and then you relax. And then the air will be flowing deeper. And then you breathe out through your mouth. When breathing in, your tongue will stick up and push against the gum, but only slightly or lightly. Don't use too much power, just slightly. Breathe in, and then slowly breathe out. Breathe in as much air as possible, keep it a little bit, and breathe out slowly as well. Don't force the breathing out part. Now this is something you learn in the first part of Gung-Ji Fukun. Now in Gung-Ji Fukun you have a lot of parts that repeat. Left foot forward, right foot forward, and it repeats. So in my opinion, Gung-Ji is a collection of drills patched together, because once you do Gung-Ji, it's more stationary. I mean you move, but still it's stationary and not as lively as the second half Fukun. So all this proper, how to do a proper fist, how to do the stances properly. And now the stances are low. Does it mean we fight in low stances? No, not if not necessary. Necessary would be, for example, someone is trying to take you down. Now what you use is a low center of gravity. What does it mean? If you lower your stance, your center of gravity is obviously lower, and it will be more difficult to take you down. In a combat situation, when someone is trying to take you down, it's always good to be able to keep a low center of gravity, so people will be having a hard time to take you down. So all the stances, all the important stances will be taught in Gung-Ji Fukun. All the important strikes, blocks, breathing parts. So if you take the whole of Gung-Ji Fukun, it's like a full system in itself. What I'm trying to say is, because it gives you so much, you could probably learn from it your whole life. It will never stop. Another thing is, let's think about how old is the set. There are not really proven records factual records that can prove how old the set really is. But if you look back at the timeline of our ancestor of the style, who brought what into our style, because our style was always evolving. The Hung Kuen of Wong Fei Hung wasn't the same as the Hung Kuen of Lam Sai Wing, who was a student of one of the famous students of Wong Fei Hung. Wong Fei Hung had more famous students, obviously. Dang Feng, one of them. But we talk about my lineage now, and we talk about on the set purely. So the set as Wong Fei Hung practiced it or taught it, Gung Fukun, is not the same as Lam Sai Wing. Now if you go back to Lam Sai Wing and how he teaches Gung Fukun, that's not, what is this? This is 100 years maybe. Lam Sai Wing did a book about Gung Fukun. The original Gung Fukun book was published in 1936. Lam Sai Wing and his student Yu Yujai worked on this book, and the original book has pictures. Right now, this book I'm showing you right here is a special edition with English translation by my Kung Fu brother Victor Nordgren. This is very special, and this book came out later, and it has only drawings. Well, this book came after the death of Lam Sai Wing, same as with the Fu Hoc book. Only the original one, and this is not the original one, this is a re-edition, obviously, by my Kung Fu brother Victor. And the original version is very hard to find. It's more like a booklet, but it has photographs instead, drawings. And all the other books on Titsing Kuen and Fu Hoc Seung Kuen, all these books came out after Lam Sai Wing passed away. And this book has proper pictures, and this book gives you a lot of hints how to practice the set and what the techniques supposed to mean that you do. Now, if you give it 100 years, the way Lam Sai Wing did it, maybe it was Wong Fei Hung who actually created the set when I talk about Fukun and Gung Kuen. So maybe it was Wong Fei Hung who took all the drills, put them together, and it became Gung Kuen. And then he put it together with Fukun. It all together became Gung Fukun. So if you really think about it, the set's probably not older than 200 years. And the set as we know it, maybe not even older than 150 years. So it's not actually very old. But still, at that time, people fought differently than today. They were trained differently, they would move differently. So that's why we need to adapt. We need to adapt to times, to the time that we live in now. So we can't really teach the set or the application of the set in a way they did it maybe 150 years ago. Because nowadays people, almost everyone did a little bit of martial arts. People move differently, they are more athletic. So you have to adapt the techniques to a modern type of scenario. Because if you practice the applications in the old way, it teaches you a wrong response to an attack, and that could be fatal. Put yourself in danger, and this is something a teacher always should think about. That's why it's important to do always something like sanda or some kind of boxing, kickboxing competition type of fighting where you have sparring. Teaches you timing, feeling for distance, all those important things in a combat situation or even in a self-defense situation. You can't really simulate a self-defense situation in training. Obviously you can go through possible attacks or situations outside in the real world. Your adrenaline will go all the way up. You might choke, you might freeze and forget everything you've learned. While when you practice in your school, you know who the people are you trained with, you know your environment, everything. So it's different. But if you spar and do a little bit of hard sparring, at least you know how to move, how to react on strikes or when you get hit which is very important as well. Something I teach my students when teaching forms is not to look on your hands. A lot of times I see Hungar practitioners, and I'm not trying to tell them wrong, but to me personally, it's wrong. I teach my students in a way when they do, for example, the breathing part. I'll try to show you in a second. I see a lot of times, for example, in the breathing part, that people look on their hands. The Gung Fu-Fukun book, so there's somewhere something which says when you do your sets, you should be calm, everything should be subtle, and your eyes should be focused on your opponent. So when you do your forms, there's no opponent, but you imagine your opponent, right? So example, when I do this, my eyes be straight. I breathe. Well, do a strike. I'm not doing this. I'm not looking at my hands. My eyes remain on the opponent. And this is very important. Another thing is, when it says you should be calm and you should be subtle, it doesn't mean you should pull faces. It's not an act, right? You practice movements, and you should be focused, calm, collected, not pulling faces and shout around like you're insane or something. Some do it, but I'm also not judging. That's only my personal opinion. So if someone asks me how to practice Gung Fu-Fukun, I will say the same as what my Sifu told me. My Sifu is Wang Chongman in Hong Kong. And also how my Qigong would have explained. My Qigong is learn Gong. You should stay calm and collected, relaxed. Use power in the endpoints of the strikes. Finish every movement properly. Never rush through the form. Take your time. Don't pull faces. It's not an act. Just go through each movement and do it properly. This is also how I teach it to my students. Every movement has a meaning. It's not always about fighting. Every movement in the set is important and has a meaning. So never rush through the set. Because the problem with forms is they became an exhibition part. Something you perform. Something you show and others judge if you do it well or not. Or it's becoming a show. Well, that's wrong. That's not what forms are for. But since everything changed in life, especially weapon forms, it makes sense. So you can compete with them on tournaments. But in reality, that's not what forms are meant for. Forms are like shadow boxing in boxing. And I don't see tournaments where people do shadow boxing and other people would judge it, give it points, right? Now that's the same. But forms also will teach you the DNA of a style, the attributes, how to punch, because every style has its own way to punch, how to hold your fist, how to move your hips, how to breathe. All those things will be taught through forms, right? So yeah, this is Gung Fu-Fukun. You will be seeing millions of different forms, ways of how they move or whatever, but the principles are always the same because they all come from the same source. Now, when I have 10 students, I teach Gung Fu-Fukun to 10 students, you will have 10 variations because every person moves a little bit different. Tall person, small persons, big persons, skinny persons, you know what I mean? So there will be always some differences, and with the time, if those 10 people teach the set to 10 to their own students, they will have the fuck off. They will have their own variations, their own flavor. So you always have to keep that in mind. If I teach the form to when I did teach Gung Fukun to a lot of people, and I'm telling you, they all move in different ways. So you would think it's not always the same, but it is the same. Principles, basics are always the same. Right. This is it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm sure I left out a lot of important things. But as usual, I do my videos freestyle. There's no script. It's just off the head and off the top of the head. And I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe you took something from it. And but yeah, next one's going to be Treasures of Hung Kuen. And until then, 再見。